I'm Crystal Archambault. Thank you for being here today and taking the time to watch my creation unfold. The reason I create these videos is because, to be totally honest, I love watching other people's time-lapse paintings too. So I wanted to add to that content on this platform. In addition, I hope to provide inspiration to other artists out there, or people who are also in the early days of their creative journey. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, my process, and then my journey over the past year. Please feel free to leave any questions you may have in the comments. Most people in my everyday life know me as Crystal Vanderwerken, which is my married name. But when I decided to take the leap into becoming a professional artist, I chose to use my maiden name, Archambault, as my artist signature. I never stopped signing that name even after I got married. And in many ways, it's my way of honoring my dad. You see, he was a painter too, in his spare time, and over the past year, people who knew him have been sending me photos of his work that hangs on the walls of their homes. It's such a gift, seeing his brush strokes and the way that he saw the world. It's a little like having him beside me in my own journey. I live in Calgary, Alberta. It's a city full of energy and big skies. But I also have a small studio tucked away in the Columbia-Shuswap region of British Columbia. It's surrounded by mountains, and it's truly where my soul feels most at home. That's where a lot of my inspiration comes from, the raw, wild beauty of nature, the quiet power of storms rolling over the peaks, and the stillness that follows that. At home, I have the deep joy of being a wife and a mom of 2 teenage boys. We also have a dog who's always underfoot, but in the best way. They're my biggest supporters, and honestly, I could not be walking this new path without their love and encouragement. Recently, I joined a local choir, just singing for the joy of singing. And in between that and painting, I finally feel like I'm living the life I was always meant to live. A life of creativity, connectedness, and being true to myself. Now, I would love to walk you through how I paint, the rhythm, the structure, and the heart behind it. Over the past few years, I've taken all kinds of lessons, from bold acrylic portrait classes to deep foundational drawing courses, and I graduated from an art mastery program last year. That program in particular helped me solidify a process that feels really natural to me. Even when I'm not at the canvas, I'm planning. Hikes in nature, sketchbooks, reference photos, palettes, all slowly simmering in the background. And when I'm finally ready to begin, I start with a simple sketch directly onto the canvas. Then comes the first layer, a transparent acrylic wash. That's what I use to, quote, kill the white, end quote, of the canvas. It immediately gives the surface a mood, a feeling, even if it's subtle. After that, I often use acrylic spray paints to create atmosphere in the underpainting. There's something a little unpredictable about the way spray paint settles and drips, and I love that. After that, I move into my planned acrylic palette, always starting with the darkest colors and working towards the lightest. For my acrylics, I use a stay wet palette, so I'm not fighting dry paint between sessions. This part of the painting is like laying the foundation. I'm not chasing perfection here. I'm creating a base that I can later deepen and enrich with oils. Once I feel the piece is about 2/3 done, that's when I switch mediums. I lay out my oil palette. The same colors I've already pre-planned, but I organize them in a certain way. Cold colors go farthest from me, and the warm colors closest. Sometimes I write the names of the colors right onto the glass with a wax pen, because real life often pulls me away before I finish. If I need to step away for a while, I store my oil palette in the freezer to keep them from drying out. This is a pro tip. When the oils come out, the painting becomes more vibrant. That's when the piece comes to life. I still follow the same rhythm, dark to light, thin paint to thick, but oils let me add richness and lusciousness to the color. They add a closeness, a softness, a depth. To me, oils feel like they breathe life into the painting. And when I know it's done, when I've had that moment of peaceful assessment, I take the piece to my own living space and I view it for a couple of days. And I make note of any finishing touches that it needs for it to come to completion. After those last edits are done, then it gets my signature, the final moment on the canvas. Then it dries, and finally I varnish it. That's when everything comes together and the painting gets that final glow. So this painting, Prairie Storm 2.0, is the second of its name in my series called Earth and Sky. This painting captures the feeling of a brewing storm across the plains. There's power in storms, yes, but there's also beauty. And that balance is what I'm always chasing in my work. Finally, I wanted to share with you what the past year has looked like, because it's been both fast and full, but so very rewarding. It all really started in 2020, during the quiet chaos of the world shifting. I began organizing Bob Ross paint nights with friends, just for fun, a creative release. I had always painted when I was younger, but life swept me up into other things. That night with friends, it was like waking up a part of myself that I had forgotten was there. Soon I was taking online classes, learning to paint portraits, playing with bold color, and expressive brush strokes. One course led to another, and before long, I had signed up for the Milan Art Mastery program, a fully structured immersive course that taught me to draw, paint in oils, and work in mixed media. It was challenging, but it was the exact kind of structure that I needed. I finished the program just about a year ago. Now this program has a full career launch protocol, and while I haven't followed every step of that, I have been slowly, gently easing into a professional art making on my own terms. My family is still my top priority. That's a non-negotiable. But as my time opens up, art is claiming more space, more attention, more intention. Last year around this time, June of 2024, I started by entering a local art show with some of my study pieces, just to see what would happen. And to my surprise, I sold 3 of them. It was a small show, but it felt enormous to me. The idea that someone else wanted to live with a piece of mine, that it spoke to them enough to bring it home. It still makes me emotional. Then I started building a professional portfolio, aiming for 30 pieces that I could present to galleries. Around that time, I had the opportunity to collaborate with an amazing local jewelry designer. We put on a co-show together in November of 2024. And out of the 10 pieces that I brought, I sold 5 of them, and I gained a couple of commissions. What a surprise. I was so moved. It was such a validating moment, and since then, I've been working on commissions, including a very meaningful one, a 20-year anniversary painting series for a local oil and gas company. They approached me directly. I was deeply touched, and honestly still am, that they trusted me with their story. It means so much. Between commissions and parenting and life, I haven't quite hit the 30-piece mark yet, but I paint when I can. I trust the pace of my life, no rushing, no panic. And now I'm preparing for another show with the same jewelry partner this June. I'll be doing a live painting there, since my inventory is a little light at the moment. But I'll bring what I do have, and I'll create something new on the spot. I'm excited for it. Nervous too, but mostly excited. So this year has gone by quickly, but it's been beautiful and so rewarding. There's a deep joy in having something to work towards, something creative, something expressive, something that's mine. I'm honored to be able to create work that connects with people, that moves them enough to become collectors and hang my paintings in their homes. That's a feeling I don't think I'll ever get used to, and I hope I never do. I don't know exactly what's next, but I know I'll keep painting. I'll keep growing, and I'll keep letting this part of myself take root at a pace that fits my life, with no stress, just with joy and so much gratitude. Thank you for watching Prairie Storm 2.0. I hope you stay and enjoy the music and watch until the end. If you'd like to see more of my work or follow my journey, you can find me online at crystalarchambault.com or Instagram at crystalarchambaultartist, or here on YouTube, where you can like and subscribe so that you can get notified when I add new content. Until next time, stay fabulous.